Hi, Lea-Anne here from Creative Art. Great to be sharing another video with you on stretching the use of your dies. This time we're going to be using the art foil and attach the foil to your card without using heat setting or laminating. For our first card we're going to use double-sided tape, and the foil art is you'll put strips of double-sided tape onto your card and then add the foil, remove the white strip and then add the foil to the double-sided tape. In this case here I've randomly added the foil so as to create a different coloured background on each of the strips, because the single colours are a little bit harsh all on their own on the double-sided tape. This is a relatively easy way of adding the foil to your card using the double-sided tape. I've used the foil art foil here, but you can also use any of the heat setting foils to do exactly the same with the double-sided tape. You can also use different widths to create a different look. Then just a tip is the double-sided tape can cause the finish to be a little bit tacky, so just use your anti-static mat and just rub the tape area with the foil to take the stickiness away. Then once you've attached your card topping to your card, the folding card, then add your embellishments and then also ribbon. And if you haven't stamped a sentiment, then add your sentiment as well to finish off your card. I like to create a little swatching of all my techniques for future reference of using the foil with the double-sided tape. For our next card I'm going to show you how to use the spray adhesive as well as the single-sided adhesive paper to attach the foil to the card backing. First off, using the single-sided adhesive paper is peel away the protective strip and then gently lay the foil on top of the glue side, and then use your bone folder to smooth down. Then once done is peel off the protective topping, wipe with your anti-static mat again to take the tackiness away, and then run your die through your cutting machine to actually die cut the shape through the foil. Your finished look looks very nice. It gives you a nice shiny look to it. Paper not very stable, but in my next video I'll cover more on how to make your paper a bit thicker. For your next technique you're actually going to use the spray adhesive, and you're going to spray the a pattern paper. The spray adhesive, you'll then put the foil down and remove the protective strip to reveal the foil now stuck to the actual spray adhesive on top of your pattern paper. Then using your little skeleton flower is your die. You'll place the die onto the foil and then run it through your machine to die cut through the foil. Then you can also use the spray adhesive on pre-cut die cuts like this little flower that I've used previously. I've sprayed that with the spray adhesive, and now I'm just adhering the foil. This is heat set foil from Couture Creations onto the actual die cut itself. Finish off your card you can adhere your pattern paper to your card backing. Then add your die cuts here to your card. As you'll see, I've done the one from the single-sided adhesive paper, the pre-cut die that I've foiled, some little leaves, and then adding your skeleton of flower and a little flower, and then finally a printed sentiment. Then once again I will add this technique to my swatch ring for future reference, writing on the back the steps that I followed in this technique. For our third card I'm going to show you how to create your own foil background using the foil art foils, and as well as using the foil art to cut sentiments, and then also to actually cut die cut shapes. To create a solid backing for your die cut shape is remove the protective layer from the single-sided adhesive paper and use your bone folder to smooth the foil onto the actual card. Then using your die cutting machine is place your shape die onto the machine with the foil and then run through to actually cut the balloons out through the foil. Then to cut your sentiment is I'm here using the single-sided self-adhesive book covering that you get from most of your stationery shops, and I've placed the foil onto that, trimmed off any of the edges, and then also placed that with the sentiment die into my cutting machine and cut the die out. In this case I've cut a happy birthday. The finished look is very flimsy. I'll also give you tips next time on how to make it a little bit more robust. Then I'm now going to show you how to create your own background using the foil art or any of the deco foils. Is you'll use your spray adhesive again, and in just a protective box is spray the card backing with the adhesive, wait a moment for it to dry slightly, and then start adhering your foils randomly to the card background. This is a really good way of using up your scraps that are left over from your rolls, so don't throw any of those away. You can also use any of the heat set foils to do your background covering, and don't worry if there's still whites showing, because we will chalk this up shortly. Then also, once you're done with adding the foil to your background, you'll once again use your anti-static mat and just wipe over the foiled area to take the gooiness away. Then using any of your favorite chalks, and a dauber is just blend the chalk into the edges and the center of the card. Here I use both red and the blue. Then to start finishing off your card is add your die cut balloons. I use a little bit of adhesive foam tape on the back just to raise the balloons. I then added my sentiments and finished my card off in that way. Then, like my previous examples, is I added my sample to my swatch ring, writing on the back how I created the technique on the front of the card. Then, just as a quick tip, is you don't have to use plain paper or even platen paper. In this case I'm using an old photograph, and I'm going to spray it with the spray adhesive and then randomly add a bit of my leftover foils to the photograph, just to change its look and feel slightly, that I can use it for another project. So as you can see, I don't have to throw your old photographs away. The final look by randomly adding the foil gives it a very nice backing, which I then used one of my background dies to cut out and to use on a project. Thanks for watching and sharing this time with me. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this technique of using the foil art foil with adhesive paper, adhesive spray, and double-sided tape. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks. Bye.